Good afternoon, children. So you have learned in the previous classes that how English education has slaved us. Because of the English education, what happened? Our all the people of all the children were becoming what they were attracted towards the English education, English culture, English ethics, English policies, English customs, English traditions, and they were thinking that the our ancient learning, Arabic and Persian language learning, it is useless, right? As well as the Sanskrit learning, they found it as unethical, useless type of, it is a mere time waste. Like that the people started thinking, and they were all attracted by what? By the English education, English system of learning. Mahatma Gandhi argued that colonial education created a sense of inferiority in the minds of the Indians. Yes, in the minds of the Indians, it created a sense of inferiority. They started thinking that they are not knowledgeable. They started thinking that British had more knowledge than the Indians. They started feeling that Indians are inferiors to the Britishers. Britishers are superiors, whereas the Indians are the inferiors. What happened? And it made them see Western civilization as superior and destroyed the pride they had in their own culture. So what happened here? They started feeling that Western civilization is more superior. And what happened? This destroyed our culture of education. This described our what it destroyed the pride that they were having in their minds, that our culture is the most important thing. It was poison in this education, said Mahatma Gandhi. So what he said, that there is a poison in this education system. Mahatma Gandhi said that because of this our education system is coming down. It is becoming the less because of the English culture. It was sinful. It enslaved the Indians. It cast an evil spell on them. So what happened? Mahatma Gandhi said that it was sinful ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಶಾಪ ಇದ್ದಂಗ. And what? In our education system, on our education system, and it had cast the evil spell on them. Evil ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನ್ರಿ? ಒಂದು ಬ್ಲ್ಯಾಕ್ ಮ್ಯಾಜಿಕ್ ತರ ಆಗಿದೆ, right? Charmed by the West, appreciating everything that came from the West. So Indians were charmed, means they were attracted by the Western culture. They started believing that whatever is there in the Western culture or in the English, it is the good one. They started appreciating whatever the things that were coming from the Western side. They thought that they are the quality goods and services. They are all the good qualities, right? Only the Britishers are more intelligent than the Indians. Like this they started believing, right? Indians educated in these institutions began admiring the British rule. Now they started admiring, they started following the British rule. The students who got education in the British institutions, in the Christian missionaries, they started believing the English culture. They started believing the Britishers more than the Indians. Mahatma Gandhi wanted an education that could help Indians recover their sense of dignity and self-respect. Yes, Mahatma Gandhi ji wanted such an education that could recover, that would re-establish the sense of respect and dignity among the Indians. Indians should have the sense of dignity. They should feel self-respect. They should admire themselves. They should admire the Indian culture rather than the British culture. That was India, because our all the background that we had, our history was so good. Then those days only they had done lot of inventions, lot of discoveries, lot of, technically we were more strong than the British people. But still what happened? Because our local schools were all removed. By whom? By these Christian missionaries. People started believing that this is the good quality of education. During the national movement, he argued students to leave educational institutions in order to show to the British that Indians were no longer willing to be enslaved. So, in the freedom movement, in the national movement, Gandhiji told the students, educational institutions who were going there, he ordered them leave those institutions and tell the Britishers that we are no longer the slaves of them. Mahatma Gandhi strongly felt that Indian languages ought to be the medium of teaching. Here, Mahatma Gandhi is telling that Indian languages should become the medium of teaching, not the British language. Indian medium of teaching should be there. Education in English crippled Indians, distanced them from their own surroundings and made them strangers in their own lands. Yes, this was happening. Indians were made as the strangers for their own social surroundings, because what we are studying, we are studying only about the Mughal emperors and the British rulers, but where Mughal emperor also 30%, 70% we are studying about the British rulers only. In the British education, what we saw, what we are seeing, that only the Britishers are superior compared to the Indians. So he said that this education, this system of education has made us strangers in our own surroundings. And speaking a foreign tongue, despising local culture, despising the local culture, the English educated did not know how to relate to the masses. So speaking the foreign tongue, speaking the foreign language, what happened? Children were not knowing how to interact with their related masses, with the related people, with their relatives. They don't know how to interact. It is very common problem. You can see in our homes also, the children who are getting the English education, who are going to the English medium schools, they have less friends. They don't know how to interact with their relatives. They don't know how to interact with the strangers, those who come to their homes, their families, their friends, their relatives. They are unable to interact. They go and they go inside the room and they close the door because of the language. Language has become the problem. Western education, Mahatma Gandhi said, focused on reading and writing rather than oral knowledge. So what happened? Western education in Mahatma Gandhi is saying that it is focusing only on the reading and writing rather than the oral knowledge. Children are not having the oral knowledge. Orally, they are unable to speak. They are unable to tell lot of things, right? Only in they are evaluated on the basis of writing. So oral knowledge is less. It valued textbooks rather than lived experiences and practical knowledge. Yes, practical knowledge is also very important. Living experience is also very important. It has distracted. It has valued only what? Only the textbooks. Whatever you are read there in the textbook, bookish language. Now the children are inculcating rather than the living experience. They have to know the living experience, how the plant grows in the fields. When the seed is sown in the field, how it grows into a plant. That is all things that they should come to know. In the olden days, what happens? The farmers' children were working in the field. So they were knowing, they were having the practical experience. The schools were given holidays on the harvesting and the storing season. So that time what happened? They learned the art of harvesting the crops. They learned the art of storing the crops. But now what has happened? Our children don't know what is farming. They don't have the live experience of farming. They don't have the practical knowledge of how to do farming in the fields, how to bring the water from the wells. They don't know, right? So these are the problems they are facing. He argued that education ought to develop a person's mind and soul. Education must and should develop a person's mind as well as his soul. Literacy or simple learning to read and write by itself did not count as education. So literacy doesn't mean that simply reading and writing, but itself it does not count as a education. People had to work with their hands, learn a craft and know how different things are operated. So this is how, right? Count education means you have to work with your hands. You have to know how the different machineries are operated. You have to learn the craft. This would develop their mind and their capacity to understand. So here Mahatma Gandhi ji is telling that this will help their mind and capacity to understand the things. Mahatma Gandhi along with Kasturba Gandhi sitting with Rabindranath Tagore and a group of girls at Shantiniketan in 1940. Here you can see Mahatma Gandhi ji, he is sitting with the group of girls in the school called the Shantiniketan in 1940. So here Mahatma Gandhi ji is telling literacy in itself is not education. So Mahatma Gandhi ji is telling here literacy in itself is not education. Literacy means what? To learn to read and write. But what is education? Education is different from the literacy. Mahatma Gandhi wrote, by education I mean an all-round drawing out of the best in the child and man, body, mind and spirit. So what is education? Education means it is an all-round development, all-round drawing of the child. What is the best in him? That it should be bring out, it should be shown to the people. Body, mind and spirit, what is the best in his mind, what is the best for the body can do, what is the best the spirit of that man, what he loves to do, that is the that we have to bring it out, that is called as an education. Literacy is not the end of education nor even the beginning. So here he is telling that literacy is not the end of the education nor it is the beginning. To teach the man to learn to read and write, it is not the end nor it is the beginning. It is only one of the means where man and woman can be educated. So here he is telling that it is only the means, one the dhariri, where we can see that man and woman are educated. Literacy in itself is not education. I would therefore begin the child's education by teaching it a useful handicraft and enabling it to produce from the moment it begins its training. So here Gandhiji is stressing that only reading and writing is not education. We have to bring something useful. Means we have to tell them to make something useful handicraft. They have to do, right? They have to produce one product on their own. That is what we call it as a education. That is what we say it as a education. We have to train them as in the moment the training begins, the child should be able to produce something on its own. I hold that the highest development of the mind and soul is possible under such a system of education. So under such a system of education, what is happening? We see the highest development of the mind and the soul is possible. Only every handicraft has to be taught not merely mechanically as is done today, but scientifically. That is, the child should know why and wherefore of every process. So here the Mahatma Gandhiji is stressing that handicraft has to be taught not merely mechanically. We should not mechanically teach, but we should scientifically also tell them why it is done so, why therefore we have to do all these processes, right? This is what Mahatma Gandhiji has told to the students. As nationalist sentiments spread, other thinkers also began thinking of a system of national education which would be radically different from that set up by the British. So, as the national thinkers started thinking, as the national movement started becoming on air, as it started spreading, the national thinkers started thinking that now we have to do something productive for the education system. Then what we have to see, that set up by the British is not the good one. We have to go for the another education system. Tagore's Abode of Peace. Let us see. Many of you have heard of Shantiniketan. Do you know why it was established and why, by whom? Yes, we all have heard about the Shantiniketan schools. Let us see now. Rabindranath Tagore started the institution in 1901. So Rabindranath Tagore had started this institution in the year 1901. As a child, Tagore hated going to school. He found it suffocating and oppressive. When he was a child, he found that the going to school is suffocating, oppressive. He was not interested for going the schools, as he was feeling that it was oppressive. It was not enjoying in the schools. So he was feeling very bad going to the school. The school appeared like a prison, for he could never do what he felt like doing. So he was feeling that the school itself was just like a ಪ್ರಿಸನ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನ್ರಿ, ಒಂದು ಜೈಲಿನ ಖಾನೆಗತ್ಲೆ ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತಿತ್ತು ಅವರಿಗೆ. ಯಾರಿಗೆ? ರವೀಂದ್ರನಾಥ್ ಟ್ಯಾಗೋರ್ ಅವರಿಗೆ. ಶಾಲೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಸ್ಕೂಲ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಹೆಂಗೆ ಕಾಣ್ತಿತ್ತು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಒಂದು ಜೈಲ್ ಕಂಡಂಗೆ ಕಾಣ್ತಿತ್ತು. ವೇರ್ ಹಿ ವಾಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಅಲೌಡ್ ಟು ಡೂ ವಾಟ್ ಹಿ ವಾಂಟೆಡ್ ಟು ಲೈಕ್ ಟು ಡೂ. ಹಿ ವಾಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಅಲೌಡ್ ಟು ಪ್ಲೇ. ಹಿ ವಾಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಅಲೌಡ್ ಟು ಟಾಕ್ ವಿತ್ ದ ಅದರ್ಸ್. ದೇರ್ ವಾಸ್ ಎವ್ರಿವೇರ್ ದೇರ್ ವಾಸ್ ಡಿಸಿಪ್ಲಿನ್. ಸೊ ಹಿ ವಾಸ್ feeling like that I was not allowed to do what I want to do. So while other children listened to the teacher, Tagore's mind would wander away. So when other children are concentrating in the class, that time Tagore mind used to go away from the class. His mind used to wander outside and all. The experience of his school days in Calcutta shaped Tagore's ideas of education. So the experience that he took from the Calcutta education, that made him to shape, to give a new structure to the Indian education. On growing up, he wanted to set up a school where the child was happy. So on growing, he decided that we have to start such a school where the children are happy, where they enjoy for coming to the school. They are not feeling unhappy, but they are enjoying their school days, where she could be free and creative, where she was able to explore her own thoughts and desires. So where the children enjoy, where they do the creative things, where she is free and she is going to able to explore herself, her own thoughts and desires. They have to explore, they have to come up with their own thoughts and desires. Tagore felt that childhood ought to be a time of self-learning outside the rigid and restricting the discipline of schooling system set up by the British. So that the child, when you are a small children, it is the time for self-learning. You have to learn on your own outside the rigid, means with the restriction discipline of the schooling system will not help you to learn. Self-learning will not be done. Teachers had to be imaginative, understand the child and help the child develop her curiosity. So here the teachers should understand the child nature, and what they have to do, they have to develop their curiosity to know something, right? What is there, why we should do this, why should not we do that? So this is a curiosity stage that should be developed, nourished by whom? By the teachers. According to Tagore, the existing schools killed the natural desire of child to be creative, her sense of wonder. So according to what happened, according to the British education, schooling had killed the natural desires of the child to be creative. The child wanted to be creative, it wanted to do something on its own, but it is destroyed by whom? By the British education. Her sense of wonder, it has to feel wonder when it sees something, right, naturally happening. When the children see the plant has given a flower, has given a fruit, that time what you can see, it says wow, wonderful, like that. Wonders that nature is available, that the children must experience, and they should feel that there are a lot of wonders in the nature, and they should be curious how these wonders are happening in the nature. That curiosity should be increased by whom? By the teachers. How does this happen? How does a plant plant give a flower? How does the plant gives the fruits? Sometimes it gives the vegetable, sometimes it is giving the fruit. How it is happening in the nature? What is that doing? So all these things their child should learn out of the curiosity rather than the textbook knowledge. Tagore was of the view that creative learning could be encouraged only within a natural environment. So, where there is a creative learning, when there is a natural environment. So, he chose to set up his school 100 kilometers away from Calcutta in a rural setting. So, he chose 100 kilometers away. He had built up a school which is of the natural setting, which is the children, where children are very near to what? Very near to the nature. He saw it as an abode of peace, Shantiniketan. Abode of peace means where there is a complete peace. So only he called it as a Shantiniketan. Where living in harmony with nature, children could cultivate their natural creativity. So here people are living in harmony. People are living in peace with what? With the nature. Children could cultivate what? Their natural creativity, where children can create their own natural things. In many senses, Tagore and Mahatma Gandhi thought about education in similar ways. Here, Tagore's and Mahatma Gandhi's thinking, imaginations were both the same. They were thinking, both were thinking in the similar ways, not in the different ways, but in the similar ways. There were, however, differences were also there, but they were not more differences, more were the similarities. Gandhiji was highly critical of Western civilization and its worship of machines and technology. So Gandhiji hated that the Britishers were using the machines and technology for everything to produce, for production, rather than using the hands, they were using the machines and technology. So Gandhiji had the objection for it, because what it will do, it will remove the employment opportunities for the people who were living in India. People should get the employment opportunities. If we start depending on the machineries and the technology, then what will happen? Where will be the employment generation? So that was the problem of the Gandhiji. Tagore wanted to combine elements of modern Western civilization with what he saw as the best within Indian tradition. So Tagore was interested in combining both Indian as well as the Western traditions, both civilization. He wanted to combine and start a school. He emphasized the need to teach best science and technology at Shantiniketan along with art, music and dance. So he stressed that the need to teach science and technology. Along with that, in Shantiniketan they were teaching the art, music and dance, which is needed for the mind, soul and spirit, right? Only the science and technology is not the thing. We need the pleasures for the mind are what? Art, music and dance, right? All will enjoy, everyone will enjoy. Music ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಎಂಜಾಯ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಿ, ಆರ್ಟ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಡ್ರಾಯಿಂಗ್, ಚಂದ ಡ್ರಾಯಿಂಗ್ ನೋಡಿದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಖುಷಿ ಆಗ್ತೈತಿ, ಎಂಜಾಯ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಿ. ಡಾನ್ಸ್ ನೋಡ್ರಿ ಅದಕ್ಕೂ ನೀವು ಖುಷಿ ಪಡ್ತೀರಿ, ಎಂಜಾಯ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಿ. ಸೊ ಅದು ಕೂಡ ಇರಬೇಕು. ಅಲಾಂಗ್ ವಿತ್ ಎಜುಕೇಷನ್ ದೇರ್ ಶುಡ್ ಬಿ ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟಿವಿಟಿ ಫಾರ್ ದ ಚಿಲ್ಡ್ರನ್. Many individuals and thinkers were thus thinking about the same way a national educational system could be fashioned. Yes, they were thinking that the national education system should be fashioned with these things. Some wanted changes within the system set up by the British and felt that the system could be extended so as to include wider sections of the people. Yes, if you want to include the wider sections traditions of the people, then what it should be, the British education system must be extended, and it should be have make some changes, so that what happens, it attracts lot of people and lot of Indians come up to take up the British education. Others urged that alternative systems can be created so that people were educated into a culture that was truly national. So here some people wanted that the Indians should be educated, they should be taught of an alternative system where education should promote the culture, promote the traditions of the India, and also the nationalism in India. People should become patriotic, people should become proud of their nation. So that type of education should be there in the country. Who was to define what was truly national? The debate about what is national education ought to be continued till after independence. So till after independence, we are seeing that there is a debate going on for and against of the national education, right? Children playing in a missionary school in Coimbatore, you can see here early 20th century. By mid 19th century, schools for girls were being set up by Christian missionaries and Indian reform organizations. Here you can see the children are playing where they started. The British schools started girls education also. They started the girls education, which was very important for the development of our country. They started giving the girls education also, right? In India only the men were allowed to be educated, but what happened after independence or before independence, the Christian missionaries had started giving education for whom? For the girls also, right? The Christian missionaries started giving education for the girls, females. Next one, education as a civilizing mission. Until the introduction of the Education Act in 1870, there was no widespread education for the whole population of for most of the 19th century. So till 19th century we had not seen the girls education. So they had introduced one Education Act in 1870 that made all the population to have compulsorily have the education. So they had passed what? Education Act in 1870. Child labor being widely prevalent, poor children could not be sent to school, for their earning was critical for the survival of the family. So what happened here? The child labor was there everywhere. So child labor was practiced everywhere in the country. So poor children were unable to send. Poor children were not sent to the schools because for them this work, the children, whatever the labor they are earning, that was very important for their survival. So they were not they sending for the children to the schools. The number of schools was also limited to the run by the church or set up by wealthy individuals. The schools were also limited. There were not more number of schools. Whatever the schools were there, they are built by the Christian missionaries, or they were built by whom? By the wealthy individuals. Means the rich people were building the schools, or only the Christian missionaries were starting the schools for the children. It was only after coming into force of the Education Act that schools were opened by the government and compulsory schooling was introduced. So what happened after the Education Act only? We saw that there were more number of schools were opened by the government and compulsory schooling was introduced. Compulsory, they started the schools in their areas. One of the most important educational thinkers of the period was Thomas Amoyd, who became the headmaster of the private school Rugby. So here you can see that, right, This is what here one of the most important educational thinkers of the period was Thomas Amoyd, who became the headmaster of the private school. He had become the headmaster of the private school, favoring a secondary school curriculum which had a detailed study of the Greek and Roman classics written 2000 years earlier, he said. So what happened here? Written 2000 years earlier, there were a Greek and Roman classics were there. So it was a detailed study of the Greek and the Roman classics. He had started what? Secondary school curriculum. Secondary school means the high school. He had started in lot of the areas of the India. It has always seemed to make to me one of the great advantages of the course of study generally pursued in our English schools that it draws our minds so continually to dwell upon the past. Every day we are engaged in studying the languages, the history, and the thoughts of men who lived nearly or more than 2000 years ago. So what happens? It becomes because we are able to, why we are able to study past? Because the British had introduced the English education, and because of that we are finding the thousands of history what was there because of it, because people had written about because they had got the literacy, they were knowing the art of writing. So because of the education, now we are able to see that, because it English schools, it draws our mind so continually to dwell upon the past, to see what is happening 1000 years backside or more than 1000 years back, what all had happened. Arnold felt that a study of the classics disciplined the mind. In fact, most educators of the time believed that such a discipline was necessary because young people were naturally savage and needed to be controlled. So here Arnold felt that the classics disciplines the mind. The classics means whatever they were teaching in the past, they had disciplined the minds of the young people. They were of the natural advantage, and the minds of the people need to be controlled. They should be in the control. That is the most important. Their mindsets should be controlled. Nowadays, today, youngsters, we are seeing they have become doctors, they are become engineers, but what they are drug addicts. There are a lot of what we can say suicide cases, death cases are happening, accidents are happening. Today the younger generation are involved in the narcotics, in the drinks, a lot of bad activities. Why? Because their mind is not controlled. Even though they are literates, they are the educated people, they have become engineers, doctors, big actors, famous actors, actresses, but what has happened? Their mind is not controlled because there is no classic disciplines in the mind. So that is most important. To become civilized adults, they needed to understand society's notions of right and wrong. So nowadays children has to understand what is right and what is wrong. That should be properly trained. Proper and improper behavior. So what is a proper behavior? What is a good behavior? That they need to understand. Education, especially one which disciplined their minds, was meant to guide them on this path. So what is education? Especially one with their disciplined minds. They should have their disciplined minds, was meant to guide them on this path. So education was respectively needed, especially needed what? To discipline their minds, to control their minds. Education was needed to guide their path, means their way of life, to guide their way of life. What was needed? Education was needed. So for all these things, what is important? The education is important. So match the following is there. Let's recall. You had tried. Right, let's recall. Match the following is there. State whether true or false is there. Write it down. Let's discuss is there. Let's do is there. Write down. Children, so many children are not showing me. Write your notes and all. Please come to school. Get the corrections. Right, write your homework. Get it done and bring the school for corrections. You have to solve the exercise, question and answers that you have to bring and submit me into the school. You have to come here. Children, please, after completion of your homework, after completion of 3 exercise question answers, already I am in the 7th chapter, right? You have to write down all the question and answers of all the chapters and come here and get it done corrections. So children, please come to school, get it corrected, don't forget it. Right, nobody is coming to school, only few students they are coming to school and they are doing their corrections. I request to all the children to please come to the school, get all the things corrected. Right, okay children, this is the end of the chapter. Read well by heart all the question answers, middle question answers also you need to read well. Read the textbooks thoroughly and if you have doubts, come to me, come to the school and clarify your doubts. Children, please write the question and answers, bring to me. I am going to check your notebooks and all. Don't forget it. Okay, thank you.